Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. What's going on, Bears fans, on this Tuesday in late June, grinding towards training camp. And my last show, boys, before I disappear forever.
Last show forever?
It's a very emotional day on the show. Hoge is leaving us.
But that's okay, because we have our intrepid reporter here, our fearless leader.
For the record, I'm only
Pulitzer Prize-winning reporting from one Mark Carman.
Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg
detect
Braggs Jr.
1 ounce of sarcasm from you, we are gonna
we're
gonna fight till
I'm
the
in
death
awe.
on the YouTube.
I'm in awe of your professionalism.
Anybody detecting sarcasm? I'm detecting sarcasm. Do you hear sarcasm?
Steven, it seems like I can just leave it. I can leave right now, I think.
Yeah,
good. It sounds like these two could just go at it.
They got it covered.
For an hour.
Early vacation. Go ahead.
Definitely have some nonsense coming up that we're going to have some fun with. So, yeah, I'm taking my annual little summer break. I've been very jealous of all the golf that Greg has played that I have not. So I'm just going to load up here for 2 weeks.
I haven't played that much golf.
I'm going to get as much in as possible, and then I'm going to come back ready to go for training camp. No, yeah, we do have some stadium stuff to discuss. I'm going to tee Carm up on that here in a second. If you saw on social media yesterday, somehow these fine gentlemen here talked me into being in a music video.
I thought it was a great performance. Some of the outcuts that didn't make it in, mainly you. What were you, wakeboarding, surfing? What were you doing?
Yeah, we tried to do one with me wake surfing, but the audio, we needed a better microphone situation with, the waves and the boat. It just didn't really work, which is too bad because that would have been great.
I thought it was great.
We could do it out.
We'll talk to Dave Swerski, who's coming up at 12:30, about his decision to leave that off because I thought it should have been in there. But I don't.
Some bloopers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to question Dave's editorial choices because he is elite, and literally working with him was one of the true pleasures of my life.
Yeah, I thought it was smart for you guys to combine forces because, I know how much
this was Bragg's idea.
I know how much you like to sing, and he has talent, and there's a lot you could learn from that.
Right. I have less talent, and I was, again, it felt to me, as I put out in the tweet yesterday, that I felt like I was working with Lennon and McCartney, or Lennon and Madonna.
But that's how I feel when I'm watching your reporting.
Thank
I'm
you.
Trying to put myself in your shoes. Well, how would I have approached this?
Well, okay, so it is interesting to play both sides where you're singing with Dave Swerski and then you're talking about Bear Stadium news in a serious way. But let me just, should I update what?
That's what we do. That is what we do here.
So
yeah,
everybody's, waiting to see what's happening here. The Bears, we're now almost 2 months. It really has been 2 months since that big unveiling of their new Soldier Field plans, what they were hoping. That quickly kind of went nowhere in terms of how the state actually handled it in the month of May. And now all of a sudden we're on to June 25th. Meanwhile, some stadium news yesterday in Carolina. 7-3 vote to pass the renovations that they're going to do to the Panthers stadium.
And they need it.
Relatively easily. There's been stuff going on in Kansas City with what's happening with the Chiefs, and they're trying to figure out if they're staying at Arrowhead or maybe they're going to move to the Kansas side of the Kansas City area, which pre-show meeting, taking you inside that, Greg learned that there's a Kansas. Did you learn that Kansas City was actually located in Missouri, or just that there were that it was part of both states?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's not the answer. Which one?
So what happened was we started talking about this, and then I realized you were saying that Kansas City is in both states, and I couldn't remember that if I actually knew that at some point in my life. But just the revelation of relearning it, I was like, wow, that's crazy and stupid all at the same time. Like, pick a state.
That might have been the greatest one word ever muttered on this fine show. Yeah.
And Northwestern put out more renderings of their new stadium yesterday. So
looks nice.
There's all this going on, and then in the middle of all this, Mark Carman did some reporting. So yes, Carm, would you like to update everybody on what you learned?
I would. Adam, as the wizard that I am over here, I got a very strong tip that progress is being made between the Bears and Arlington Heights and the school board on the property taxes, and that perhaps something could be moving quickly towards Arlington Heights. And so I went out and I was able to confirm that indeed progress has been made. And the Bears, of course, own the land in Arlington Heights, and they have to pay taxes on it. And they have been negotiating to get that into a place that they feel is fair. So along the lines, as they're doing these negotiations, the hope maintains in Arlington Heights, from at least the people that I've spoken with. I'm not saying it's universal that everyone in Arlington Heights wants the Bears there, but the people that I've talked to, of course, they want the Bears to ultimately choose to build their stadium on what was formerly Arlington Park, the 326 acres that the Bears own. Now, so I put out the tweet yesterday. And then the other side of it is that the Bears do remain adamant that, yes, these negotiations on the taxes are going on, but that they are still focused on the museum campus in Chicago. That despite the fact that there's progress with the taxes, that does not mean that that Kevin Warren has given up on Chicago, that indeed that their focus still remains on the museum campus in Chicago. That's where they would like to be. Who knows how this thing is going to spin? But that is after, a full now 24 hours of tracking everything that was, I was running into. That is the full update on where the Bears are at. Progress is made. Their negotiations are ongoing, so they can feel, whatever the tax they're paying is fair. And who knows what Arlington Heights and the school board is willing to exactly give up without any real commitment that the Bears are going to build there. And then, but the Bears own the land, so they've got to work this. And now the other side of it, Kevin has been very clear. And some people thought this is a negotiating thing, with Chicago. My personal opinion, strict opinion, is that this is what he really wants. And they are maintaining that they want to build on the museum campus in Chicago.
Yeah, and I've said this before. Like, I don't even know if they would have actually purchased land at Arlington Heights if Kevin Warren was the president at that time. But,
I agree.
But what's important here, so there's like the news part, and then there's what this all means. And I think the what this means thing can be more of a discussion. But the crux of what you learned, Carm, I think has been confirmed here, is that there is some progress between the Bears, Arlington Heights, the school board on what was happening with the taxes, which people get bored with this, so we don't have to go into the weeds on it too much. But basically, they're being charged higher taxes on an empty plot of land than what Churchill Downs was having to pay when it was an up and running racetrack. And something about that doesn't seem right. Like, and so that should be fixed. And it did seem like in my opinion now, did seem like a political ploy by, the tax assessor, especially in Arlington Heights. And I think it was a screw up by them, because I think there was a world where this could have been fast tracked and started even with Kevin Warren as the president. But putting up any type of roadblock was a mistake. And that's why, on top of, I think, Kevin's own desire to, accomplish building a new Soldier Field in this city, which he's talked openly about now, that gave him the window to pivot back to the city and see if they can get this done. But they still do own this land. They did spend $197.2 million
right
on top of now the construction costs to knock it down, and this land is there ready to have something done with it. And they do have to, until they figure all this out, they do have to pay property taxes on it. So I think that's the news, that there's been some progress made there. What does it mean? Well, it could mean as little as they've made progress on this empty land that they got to pay property taxes on. It could mean it will help them potentially build a stadium in that area eventually. Right. But I also think what's important here is, at least as of now, this has not changed their focus on building and trying to get this done in the city.
Right. That's the dream. Whether it's a pipe dream or not, who knows? But that still does remain their dream.
Mark, you've said, and you said it today, that you believe that Kevin Warren is genuine, that he wants to keep it in Chicago.
I do.
If that was the case, I mean, how long do you think it would take for that deal to come to fruition?
That's $1 million question. I have
like just a ballpark guess. Like if it just to have fun with it.
In my opinion, I think
Year,
you're a year out.
Year is best case scenario.
I would agree.
Years
with that.
probably most realistic. And so in that time, you've got to spend the tax, the property tax. You have to keep paying. This is a place that you could literally start building the stadium tomorrow. They've already demolished, Churchill Downs. So to me, it is, some political maneuvering, a little bit of tug of war. And, the other aspect of it where, Arlington Heights is saying progress is being made. Chicago saying, oh, the door's still open. Everybody's going to say that because you don't want to. That helps you with your leverage. If you say, things are going terribly, one side or the other, whether it's the Bears or Arlington Heights, that's not going to help your case to try to make the leverage the way you want it to go. So to me, they're going to continue to say, yeah, things are good until they're not good.
Yeah, I mean, how this moves from here is anyone's best guess. The one thing that I've got an off the board play that hasn't gotten a whole lot of talk, and this is when Hoge is going to perhaps scream at me like he screamed at me yesterday on the show.
Well, for the record, I gave him the same advice in the pre-show meeting as I did yesterday, which was don't do this.
Well,
so he's going to blow through the stop sign on the second day in a row. We're putting all that out there now. Now here you go.
Yeah. Okay. Here you go. So I'm looking, as Greg was learning about where Kansas City is. I'm looking at that situation where Missouri does not want to give the Chiefs any dough, and so here comes Kansas coming in to make a sweetheart offer to try to get them to move from where Arrowhead is in Missouri over to Kansas. Now there is state line road that runs straight through town there. So what
shocking development?
What side of town you're on can be unclear to certainly anybody who's not familiar to KC if you're just visiting. So it's that close. It's right there, which is not necessarily the case with Gary, Indiana, and downtown Chicago. However, since it's been very clear,
just for the record, the equivalent of what's happening in Kansas would be Hammond.
Sure. Let's call it Hammond.
You drive across.
Let's call it Hammond.
I don't know. You go there every day.
You do the Skyway, you go over the bridge, you see the casino, and there's a Bears stadium there.
Hammond. Let's call it Hammond.
Well,
Forget
Missouri
Gary.
and Kansas are two different states. Hammond and Gary are two different cities.
Okay. Let's go Hammond. I appreciate the amendment. The closer option. Hammond. Yo, Indiana. If I'm you and I'm watching this, I am engaging the Bears. And if I'm the Bears and I'm looking for leverage on Governor Pritzker and company, I am engaging Indiana. I'm not talking to Aurora. I'm not talking to Arlington Heights. If you want to get money from the state then I would be talking and seeing what I could get from Indiana. If you really want to do this and you want to get this done faster and you want real leverage, that to me, I don't know if they're doing this. This is just, again, straight opinion. Why would you not look at Indiana, go right over the border? Bears fans are going to go anywhere, man. They'll go to Botswana. Greg Braggs would buy season tickets in Brazil and figure out how to get down there if he had to do it.
Hammond is in the region, and if they move the Bears to the region, everybody can park in my cul-de-sac, and we will walk to the games, and it will be a joyous occasion every Sunday. If it's anything like buying a house, I know how many residents from Illinois have come over to the region to buy a house because it is cheaper. So if buying a stadium is cheaper, I can see the sense in it. And I do know, the mayor of Hammond, Thomas McDermott, he's a flashy type of guy. I've seen him on stage, at Festival of the Lakes with Lil Wayne and different people, paying big money for
maybe you can isn't that a country singer?
No.
Dylan McDermott.
No. Dylan McDermott? No.
You said Tom.
Thomas McDermott.
Greg McDermott?
No.
I think Dylan McDermott is a country singer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You threw me off.
You had such a great point.
Yeah,
on.
regardless, I know he wouldn't be opposed to. Yeah, don't throw me off while we talk about my favorite subject, and that is
Geography.
Can you
stadium
confirm,
talk?
Can you
geography.
Can you confirm Clayton Bryant's contention at the South Shore will drop you right there? Where can I get the South Shore?
Yeah, the South Shore will drop you right there. 100%.
Where do I get that? Downtown?
You can get on the South Shore right by the stadium, right
Yeah.
by the Soldier Field, right
Yeah.
by where the Bean is.
There
Drops
you
you
go.
off. That's
Great.
like the last stop.
Perfect.
So
I'm just saying, to me, if you're looking for leverage, and maybe
Well, they did this once in the 90s
Well-
where they acted like they were going to move to Northwest Indiana. There's articles that were written about it.
Part 2. Let's go. If you
So-
want, move it along.
I'm
That
sure you
goes
were-
against everything they're talking about, though, with the Soldier Field
I know.
and the benefits of it.
I know, but this is taking forever.
And it's not the city who's talking about it so much as or the state, especially, because I don't hear Pritzker calling for this. It's really just, it's almost like the Bears would be fighting themselves at that point if they come up.
So in Carm's world over the last 2 days, the Bears will be playing in Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah.
And Tyson Bagent will be the starting quarterback because Caleb
Sucks in
wasn't
preseason.
good in
Yeah.
It's
preseason
an
of his
interesting-
rookie year.
It's an interesting way of boiling it down. But if you just want to, clip out 3 words that I said here and 3 words.
That's
that
exactly
said
what
there,
I wanna do.
Then you could do that. Baja will
Also-
be the starting quarterback, and the Bears are going to Hammond.
And please keep watching the show while I'm on vacation.
This show's going to be
I think it's going to be great.
phenomenal.
I know. I'm
But
excited.
we're going to miss you. So
If we don't get a minimum of, I'm going to come up with numbers of X amount of likes, X amount of super chats, X amount of views, and if we don't hit those numbers while Hoge is gone, Hoge will never return. Final warning.
Ooh. I like that. I like that. Sounds like a win-win for me.
Hoge's planning his retirement.
Hey, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by overpriced wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I heard that for a limited time, all Mint Mobile wireless plans are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, what do you think I thought?
You thought that's sweet.
Well, I did think that's sweet, but then I also was like, what's the catch? But after talking to them, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they sell wireless service online. They don't have retail stores or salespeople. Instead, they deliver premium phone plans directly to you. So say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. That's it. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk, text delivered by the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's limited time deal. Get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/CHGO. That's mintmobile.com/CHGO. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/CHGO. $45 upfront payment required. That's equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on a first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
That's right. And if you're watching here on YouTube, you saw that I got up because I had to get on my Shady Rays. Geek Bear in the chat saying I should have went behind the camera, called me a rookie. You're a rookie. You're a geek. And if you don't want to be a geek, then you'll put on your Shady Rays, getting ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays has you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. I think I've bought like 5 different Shady Rays here in the last month. They are great. They probably have a style in your favorite team's colors, like I'm wearing right now. Bears colors, baby.
Bears.
So Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. That's probably one of their best attributes they have here to their great company. So if you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. So, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Got our friend Dave Swerski coming up in about 10 minutes.
Or sooner, maybe.
No. 12:30.
Okay.
Because we got something to do before then.
Okay.
You get so antsy when people call in. It's unbelievable. Your anxiety
we could spend a week planning the perfect show.
Yeah.
And Carm would go, you know what? How about we not do that and do something completely different that we didn't plan?
The concept that you ever planned the perfect show is an insane concept. And for one.
Have you seen me wear a bag on my head for 2.5 hours?
You didn't plan that. That was in the moment, and it was great.
Still can't believe you didn't pass out.
That's true.
You might want to have that ready, but I'm just, I just heard a rumor. I heard a ding-ding that Swerski might be watching the show, so I got excited.
So before we get to Swerski, we're going to play the video, too, for those that maybe didn't see it on social yesterday. So if you're watching the show, don't worry. We're going to get you covered. I wanted to bring this up. So I mentioned yesterday. Well, first, let me say this. We love our CHGO friends and diehards. We're going to see them on Saturday, right?
We are.
Tickets
available.
We say all the time, don't be afraid to say hi. We're not scary people. Carm especially wants you to say hi. But there's certain places I go to. I'm always uncomfortable talking about this a little bit, where you get recognized a little bit more than others. Okay, so Saturday, I mentioned this yesterday. My wife and I went to the Justin Timberlake concert. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it says about me or my demographic or whatever the hell's going on. I have never been stopped more and been asked to take more pictures with people than in the 300 level of the upper deck during a Justin Timberlake concert.
Let's go.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Not a Blackhawks game, not a sporting event, not even like a Bears practice. When people are saying hi and stuff.
Dude.
Justin Timberlake, 300 level, those are my people.
And where was the concert? Not that it matters.
The United Center.
United Center, you just said that? Okay, great. That's
What does that mean?
Dude, that means that,
that means we're killing it, baby.
I think you're hip. You ate.
Also only,
you slayed? I think you slayed. I think you slayed.
Maybe 15% of the audience was also men.
You slayed with Timberlake men. Congratulations.
All these people who watch our show who got dragged to a concert by their wife. Those are my people. Now, in my case, I dragged my wife there, and I am not afraid to say that. Justin Timberlake is still the shit.
It was cool.
Don't drink and drive,
big platform that was levitating, that was pointing down.
Yeah, and he was
I saw the video of it. You and Cody Delmendo was there too.
I mean, it's not Taylor Swift level stuff, but it's still pretty damn good.
It looked pretty cool. It definitely looked pretty cool to be at.
People are saying that those people are mubs in Total Anarchy, that Justin Timberlake is not hip. He's old man Timberlake, and that's why these people were into you? Or because they were just drunk and finally...
everybody in that building was born in the 80s.
Okay.
Literally every single person that was at that concert was born between 1980 and 1989.
Okay.
I think it was a requirement to get in.
I can't believe that you were dying to go see Timberlake. What's your favorite Timberlake tune? You gotta...
Oh, I mean...
Hoge Timberlake? Did you see that? Which one?
Well, I mean, probably
Carm,
my number one is What Goes
it.
Around Comes Around.
Uh-huh.
But in concert, I mean, My Love's always really good. They finish, he always finishes with Mirrors, usually.
Yeah, Carm, I do see him at a Timberlake concert because that's our demographic. You, on the other hand, are a much older demographic.
Yeah, no, I go to see, Cat Stevens and Beethoven. Those are my guys.
Yeah.
Beethoven. Is he still kicking?
I'm a big I want to see a Bach concerto at Ravinia. That's my look on a blanket with a Cabernet or maybe perhaps a Sauvignon Blanc.
Geek Bear, the chat says, was Timberlake out of the clink yet? He called it a clink. You are a geek.
Okay.
Geek Bear, he did have.
First of all,
Geek Bear's right. He did have a little moment with the drinking and driving there. JT did.
Yeah, that's why I said disclaimer: don't drink and drive. Also,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
The clink.
I'm going to say this right now about every single person that is shitting on Justin Timberlake in the comments right now. Every single one of you has at some point in your life danced or jammed out or mumbled the words to a Justin Timberlake song. You are in denial right now. You are in denial. And also, don't shit on my music because I go to Rolling Stones all the time. Chris Stapleton. I am very proud of how well-rounded I am when it comes to music.
For sure you were about to give his legal indiscretions.
Oh, no.
Every single one of you have taken Molly. Allegedly.
Well, half of them are on Molly right now.
I thought he was going there too. I'm like, wait a second. This is so out of Hoge comfort zone.
Every single one of you.
I'm glad that you went. I think that's fantastic. Whoever just said in there that I'm a Stones guy, I absolutely want to go see the Rolling Stones. They're here Thursday and Sunday. So if somebody comes up to me and sees...
that's actually an upset that I'm not going. And I might change that, quite frankly. What time? Can we get back from Milwaukee in time? No, the game's at 3.
It's Thursday and Sunday. The Stones. You can go, buddy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. Skeeter, you're funny.
How about we do this? Let's play the video, then take a quick break, bring in Dave. Does that make sense?
I think that does.
Okay.
But can we set this up?
Yeah. Go ahead. You guys are the masterminds behind this.
Well, first of all, if we go rewind back in time, when Dave Swerski came on the scene, it basically the music world changed. This guy was straight legend, and I immediately wanted to make contact with him.
He's coming on the show. You don't have to suck up to him.
And maybe we should do the song after the break.
No.
The break's going to kill the thunder of the Swersk.
Okay.
That's how I see it. Steven agrees.
Okay.
Steven agrees with your...
Let's get tossed into this.
Your rant. Go.
It's not a rant.
No, that's
Keep
fine.
your
But
ranting
let
about
me just finish it up. So then, then I sang the amazing Secret Agent Man, and then Swersk went and sang Secret Agent Man, and then I made a spoof that I was mad at Swersk when really I was in love with Swersk. Mm-hmm. And then Braggs, in his brilliance, was like, "Why don't you guys do a duet this summer?" And you reached out to Dave, and Dave was incredibly accommodating, willing to do it.
He's great,
and is phenomenal. And
he's the most professional person we've worked with
by far
in years.
No, this guy. I honestly nominate Dave.
I agree.
I nominate Dave Swerski to be the president.
Organized person.
He's seriously. I think he should run. And it should be he should be like working alongside Kevin Warren. The stadium deal would get done in 5 seconds if Swerski was doing it. That's how good this guy is. So now, do you want to wait to play the amazing duet that he allowed us to be?
Might as well get through the. I mean, I feel like it, but that's I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, this is actually
coming up in 2 seconds is our duet with Dave. If you haven't seen it.
In the meantime, you probably want to, with all of that context, you probably want to pay attention to this ad read even more right now for this moment.
I'm locked in. I always
because
listen.
you might want to check out Sunnyside.
Oh yeah.
Knock it down.
Yeah.
Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer, of course, and they have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. They got you covered all over the city, too. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco or FloraCal. Drop into Sunnyside, maybe check out Mindy Segal's award-winning chocolates, and you can do it too by heading to sunnyside.shop. Use code HICHGO. That's code HICHGO at checkout. You'll get 35% off brands like Cresco, Good News, and more to elevate your first purchase. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
And when you're listening to Dave Swerski, you want to do that in your new Chevy and make Ray Chevrolet your first draft pick. Visit our partner this June to shop at the summer sales event. Bulls draft tomorrow, by the way. It's going on all month long at Ray Chevy on Route 12 in Fox Lake and at raychevrolet.com. One of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Plus, you can find that perfect tailgate vehicle right now. Get $12,000 off MSRP on the new 2024 Chevrolet Silverado, or lease the new 2024 Chevy Trax for only $179 a month for 24 months. I'm telling you, get in there, you see the Trax technology. By the way, if you've heard of Ray Chevrolet, then you've also heard of the Ray's Price Promise. They're guaranteed to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever with no price changing, no add-ons, no hidden fees ever. That means the incredible prices we're talking about right now you can expect when you visit or shop at Ray Chevy in-store or online. Shop the summer sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Survey the community since
1963.
Together, let's drive.
All right, the time is now.
The time is now.
Everybody's calling it the biggest hit since Justin Timberlake dropped his new album in
That's
March.
right.
Sing along with us. It's so good.
We'll be selling out the United Center in no time.
The Dave Swerski CHGO collab right here, right now.
Here we go, singing to ya after OTAs. And now for 5 weeks, the Bears will go away.
The fans are buzzing, hopes jacked up high. With most believing, we've got our guy.
Just Bears fans, waiting for the season to start. Got no summer plans except for working on his tans. We're just Bears fans, been tearing OTA film apart. Now it's summer sands. The Bears.
Carm hits the chords each chance he gets, but no one's seen any improvement yet.
The temps are up with that humidity, and we blame the heat for this song's stupidity. We're just Bears fans, waiting for the season to start. Got no summer plans except for working on his hands. We're just Bears fans, been tearing OTA film apart. Now it's summer sands. The Bears, gotta make the most of these 3 days we got. With camp so close, and then Hard Knocks coming in so hot. Yeah, so hot. We're just Bears fans. The Bears. Got no summer plans. The Bears.
Oh, I definitely have plans.
We're just Bears fans. The Bears. Now it's summer sands. The Bears. The Bears.
And there it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Yes. And now we bring in Dave Swerski to the show.
Let's go.
And we ask him the first obvious question, which is, why did you agree to do this with us idiots?
Yep.
Can't hear him, can we?
We got a slight mic issue. Steven, what do we do, Steven?
I believe it's on Dave's end.
You believe it's on Dave's end. Hold on.
We got a connection issue or a mute or a settings issue. Not sure.
This is we do not hear the dulcet sounds
Everybody
of Dave
keeps
Swerski
asking
right now.
me why my helmet was sitting weird. Not yet. We don't have you yet. We'll keep stalling.
Don't worry, this is gonna work.
But my helmet, so these helmets that we have in studio, there's like a protective thing on the inside. So there's like a blocker almost. I don't know really what the...
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we got you.
Oh, it's working now, Dave. So that's why it... But I kind of felt like I looked like
Try to be
Kyle
a
Long.
professional with a real mic and it doesn't even work. Let's go, fellas. What's happening?
You sound great.
You look great. You sound
All right.
great. You are great. Dave, we thank you, and we appreciate you. What was your, if you had to boil down who had the most talent of all the clips that we sent you, how would you assess that question?
Oh my goodness. Well, I got to tell you guys really knocked it out of the park. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate the tiny helmet on Greg's head. I appreciate it all. It's fantastic. I would have to say the swing hitting it over the fence really put it over the top for me, Carm. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I thought my form on that was strong, and I had like this really ugly forehand thing that you don't want to be doing going on, but I felt like that would be too technical. So
can we acknowledge when we did the high kicks, how high my kicks were going?
That was straight pain.
Your kicks were incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
You've had a couple videos
Great
like
form.
that where I'm surprised at how
Flexible.
how you're like, flex.
Yeah, you can say it. No, you can say it.
It looks like it hurts.
Dave, how are you handling the level of acclaim that you've garnered in such a brief period of time? People are just clamoring for song after song. It's kind of almost a pressure on you to keep putting them out, but yet you do it so naturally, and seemingly all the time. It's just something else is in your head.
Yeah, I've been asked to explain it before, and I don't really have the right answer. I'm 55 parodies in. The one with you guys was 55 since September of last year.
Wow.
So it's I was able to the whole thing was once I started it, basically I was just trying to figure out if I could land that plane, if I could get through the whole season, do a response to every single game, have my weekly updates and that kind of thing too. And then once people started getting into it, there was a little bit of pressure every week, and sometimes it would end and I'd be like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I would never predetermine it. That was like one of the big things is I have a huge list of songs, but I never predetermined what I'm going to do until the outcome of the game so that it was, in the moment and was real and was a real reaction. And then it was just kind of a test of my own, musical skill and comedy skill and trying to figure it out. And it's definitely blown up faster than I thought it would, but it was kind of I know George Wendt, so that's kind of the secret. My Uncle Bob, I actually know him personally a little bit. And so before I even started this, I kind of went to him and I was like, hey, I got this idea. I got to just see what happens. And he was like, yeah, you got my blessing. I'm sure Smigel's cool with it too. Bob Odenkirk, all the guys who created that skit originally, they were all on board according to George. So I felt like, okay, cool, I can do this thing. And then, the first parody song I did jumped up to over 1 million plays within the first 2 days on TikTok. And TikTok's following kind of exploded there. And then everything else has kind of like been catching up now too. So TikTok was the easiest one to grow, but yeah, people have been asking for certain things. I swear to God, Secret Agent Man was in my Twitter feed, Carm. I swear. And I did not, unfortunately, I was not aware of the greatness that is CHGO and your parody song, Love and Proclivity. So I did not mean to step on toes. However, I got receipts.
No, I mean, creative minds think alike. I mean, I always when people say, "Oh, you're copied," I always try to point out to people like, "Hey, they were building pyramids on one side of the earth, and on the other side of the earth, other people were building pyramids. So more than one person can have the same idea at the same time without copying. It's about creativity, which both of you guys do such a great job. So you live out in California, right?
Yes, sir.
So. But you grew up a Bears fan. Are you originally from this area? Like, kind of give us the background of your story.
So you want the behind the stash story? Is that what you're asking before? I got it. So here's the deal. So this entire character came out as being, the nephew of Bill and Bob, and since Bob was cool with it, but technically under this stash, my twin brother David is an actor in California. So yeah, I moved from the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa. Huge Bears fan my entire life. I always call my generation the Tecmo Bowl generation, which apparently with Hoge's taste in music, you are similar to me because Hoge's bringing sexy back. The people in the chat don't know how to act, but I'm saying there's nothing wrong with liking Justin Timberlake, by the way. His music is fantastic. You can like all sorts of music, and the people that do not understand were clearly not alive when that was hip. And with it, I understand he's now a dad, but whatever. Hey, but back to the situation at hand. Yes, I moved to California from Iowa after I attended the University of Iowa for a while. And so Chicago was always the place that that was where I wanted to be. I went to almost live there for a second, and instead I moved here. So, but the Bears have always been number one for me.
Just to let Greg know, there is no behind the stash here. This is the guy.
Everybody seems to go to Iowa.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You, Nick Moriano,
Swerski doesn't go to college. Swerski is he just appeared and he exists and he does. Have you done Sexy Back, Dave? I forget. I
have not.
That
There's
feels
another idea. We're just bringing ideas to the table.
That
absolutely
feels entirely possible.
It's probably got to be a Jervon Dexter song, bringing Dexy back. Something. Well, he's the creative mind. I'm just throwing things at the wall.
We're bringing offense back.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Back? We would have had to have it at one point for it to come back.
Well,
to represent the super fandom here, I am so flipping excited about this season, and I know I always am. That's kind of, I feel like I imbued a little bit of Ted Lasso optimism with the Superfan skit. That's kind of where I meet with this whole thing. But man, I got invited to go to the draft party at Soldier Field from the Bears, which made me feel like I was doing something right with this whole thing. And the excitement in that place, the draft, and just how they built this thing, like, I don't know. I think this season's going to have all sorts of opportunity for some happy songs. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, and to be honest, man,
that's the acclaim Swerski deserves. By the way, the Bears should be inviting him to every draft party. Go ahead.
Well, and I also think it's the story you told where you actually, got the blessing of George Wendt and everyone. I think adds a lot of credence to the whole thing too, and it's because otherwise people think you're ripping off a bit, but you're really just doing your own thing. Taking an iconic SNL skit and bring it to this. Today's Bears and today's social media and all that. I think it's awesome.
It needed to be done.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to do the line of a new generation of Bears super fandom, because I do think, and I actually, what's really cool is a couple of weeks ago I got to perform with Robert Smigel in Chicago at the Den,
cool.
Which was for me, if we're where Dave Swerski appeared out of the ether and didn't have a past, Carm. I did have the ability to understand that these guys who I have admired my entire life, because I grew up on 90s SNL. 90s SNL was gospel for this guy growing up. And I idolized, as you can probably tell, Sandler. I actually really love Weird Al Yankovic as well. That was something I grew up with. I had the cassette tape of Fat. But all that kind of stuff is I revere these guys that made this thing initially, and I would never have wanted to step on toes, because I am a creative in my own right as well. So this was just stepping into their world. So to get Robert to ask me to come perform with him at his Triumph show in Chicago was kind of so far the pinnacle of not just having somebody be like, hey, what you're doing is great and we approve. It was more like, hey, come do a bit with me. We're gonna do a super fan thing. And he did this whole multiverse of super fans sketch that I got the script for the night before at 9:00, and I sort of realized how that guy worked, because George sort of told me, he's he was a head writer on SNL, so before they would get going, he's the director would be going, we're live in 4, 3, 2, and he's still scribbling out note cards and the cue cards trying to get new lines going. So that's just kind of how he operates. He's very in the moment. So to get to do that with him, and then to roll from that into working with you guys in a thing that was remote, but I kind of had that experience of riding the wave of his, creative mastery, and to sort of kind of apply that to what we were doing together was super, super fun. So I appreciate the opportunity you guys gave me to work with you guys.
I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been awesome. And I feel like we have to whiteboard this for at least some of our, since we apparently so many people outed themselves of not being Justin Timberlake fans. I'm assuming that's the same demographic who won't necessarily know who Robert Smigel is. But he's, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, for those of the newer, speaking of taking, funny things from the past and then trying to bring it in a new generation. Obviously that's been a huge hit, and the best one ever, in my opinion, is at the Wiener Circle.
Oh yeah, and she was there. They had Poochie come. So she was there doing his show. So he did it was called Let's Make a Poop, and it was literally he did a Jeopardy show that was Rob Blagojevich was the one that he put up a Twitter poll and said, who do you want to see me poop on the most? And people voted for Blagojevich. So it was Blagojevich, Ryan Dempster, and Sam. Sam. He was in Freaks and Geeks. But yeah, that he's kind of like brought that whole Triumph thing back, and so he trashes them during the Jeopardy thing, and it's fantastic. But Robert was he was the head writer for Conan too, so he was like the mastermind of Conan's show as well.
Which I'm a Conan disciple, and
I love Conan.
Triumph at the Star Wars convention is probably.
Oh my God!
It's probably.
You are a huge nerd.
Yes, I mean all of them are great, no doubt, and you're great. We honestly, a lot of us, especially me, live in this Bears Twitter world where and you say you got a lot of your motion from TikTok, which is kind of beyond where I don't play in TikTok land too much, but like Bears Twitter has become so toxic in the last few years. It's been nice to have somebody like you and other content creators come in and create more of a positive environment, because we need all the help we can get, because Bears fans obviously especially in the last year, with it falling apart the way it did with Fields and everything, it became kind of toxic. So it's nice to have somebody that's going to bring some positivity to the fan base.
Is that Swerski dog in the background?
It's Triumph in the background.
That's Lucy. I'm going to close my door. Hold on.
You can bring her in, Dave. I'd love to meet Lucy. Wouldn't you guys? Yeah. We got Poppy. You could have a Lucy.
She might come back. We'll see.
Okay.
This guy brings his dog in the studio, so
I will say what you said, Greg. That means the world to me, because that was like the fear coming into this. Is like the fan base was hot when I started this, and the fan base was very divided about something that. And honestly, Hoge, you wrote an article I think it was like right before offseason activities, about how this time might be different with the QBs, and that was an incredible article, because I've grown up with. You know what we've grown up with. I mean, like I grew up with people that you had to like. I've always rooted for whoever was back there, so I hated that whole conversation with Fields, because it was like, I loved that kid. I bought a jersey at Soldier Field of him, because I was like, I think everybody wanted to believe in the talent that everybody saw. Like, and why is that bad to want your QB to be good? However, there's also another side to that story that you should be able to appreciate as a fan, that like maybe there's a better road for both of us, and I think that situation when I came in was something. And yeah, the toxicity on Twitter is sort of baked into the cake at this point, I think everywhere, and Bears Twitter especially was kind of hot. And that's where I said I like to bring in sort of that Ted Lasso positivity vibe, and like kill with kindness, and try to find a place where we can laugh about stuff that's sad, and then also celebrate the stuff that's cool, and not be at each other's throats. Because that's like, it's not serving anybody. Like, we're all rooting for the same colors. We're all rooting for the same guys. And I hated that whole thing of like wanting bad things to happen on half the fan base versus the other fan base thinking that you're an idiot if you don't go along with that. Like that's not my vibe. So I definitely am happy to hear that that's coming across, because that's all I ever wanted to do.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, nothing. Because I just laugh when fans it's like they don't know how to separate the two. Like, yeah, we can be serious and talk football, but then you also want to have fun. And like, we put the video out, and there might be a fan here or there that goes, "Oh, that's cringe." Yeah, it's called having fun. Try it sometime. Like, it's the summer. Let's have some fun. 25 days till training camp. And you did such a great job just from an organizational standpoint, getting us in order and, kind of leading the way with this whole thing. So it was just a lot of fun.
Thank
Dave, what's your favorite tune that you've put out to this point?
Oh, man. I think when I did Tanking for Caleb, after we had started 0-3, and like I think we'd won one game, that was like the biggest stretch for me creatively, because the Behind His Stash still stands as kind of like one of my favorites, because I was literally like, I was in the kitchen, I was depressed, and I was doing weekly updates. I was just like, I like, what am I going to say? And then suddenly, like, no one knows what it's like to be the sad fan Behind His Stash kind of like just popped into my head. I think I was cooking eggs, and I was like, oh, I got to go upstairs and write this thing. And then that one popping off, like that one has stayed for me as a really cool thing. But there's like three that stick out. That one, just because it was the OG. And then when we finally won, I did I'm Still a Believer. And that was actually the same week that Butkus had died. So talk about pressure. There was like this thing of people had started to like show up and be like, what are you going to do next? Kind of a thing. And with the high of finally getting the win, matching that like real low of like, how do I find the right tone to say, yay, we won, but also like we lost like a true legend to anyone that knows anything about the history of the Bears. So that one sticks out in my mind as well. But then Tanking for Caleb, I really went nuts with the production value on that one. I think I had watched the Bo Burnham special on Netflix too many times, and I tried to figure out how many camera angles I could do in this one room with there's 3 of me dancing in one frame at one point. I went like way over the top on that one. So that one still stands as like kind of my favorite in terms of trying to think outside the box and like, how can I make this even bigger than it already was? But
how long does it take you to put one of these together? Because I mean, the production value is 1,000% there.
It's way better than Carm's.
It's so like
That's correct.
I can tell that it's not an easy venture. Like, how much time are you spending on like one song?
yeah, it's crazy because like my fiance, who I will be getting married to actually during this season, which is a bummer. I may have to miss 1 week. I'm just going to put that out there now. But we're actually finally getting married.
wedding.
We were supposed to get married in COVID, and then it's taken forever to figure it out. But anyway, she constantly is like, makes fun of me because I'm always like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, what? I have no ideas. And then she's, in her words, 3 hours later, I come down and I'm done. That's not really the case. But when I get an idea, I'm a musician. I've been in performance and in writing for a very long time. So once I get going, I really like kind of just roll down the hill with some momentum. I will say that. So the first step is always what's the song, and then it's sitting with the lyrics and mapping out an entire new lyric path for the whole thing that flexes and moves the entire time I'm writing it. And then it always starts with an acoustic. So it's always the acoustic guitar first. That's kind of the basis for me to figure it out. And then for like the one that we did, for instance, like I'm playing bass and I record everything. There's no pre-recorded anything anytime I do one of these. So I'm if there's multiple instruments, I'm having to actually track it. But this is all done in the season. It was done within a day. So I would track bass, drums is a pillow and a shaker and a protein tub. So that's like 5 tracks of drums usually every time that I'm layering on top of itself, along with bass, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, sometimes claps, sometimes other stuff too. And then usually like 4 or 5 of me singing. So that part takes its own time after, and that has to come after I figure the song out. Cause obviously like you can't really change the lyrics and there's no point in tracking all that until I have everything else done. So that's a couple hours, usually like within 4 hours, I'm usually done with the music part of it. If it's a stacked one like that, like what we did, and then shooting it, fortunately, like right before I did this project, non-stashed me had just directed a pilot concept that someone very close to me wrote and was trying to sell right before the strikes happened out here with writers and actors. So I had a project that I was really proud of that I had directed, and I had edited the entire thing myself too. So I had just come out of like a space where that creative juice of like, I visually, fortunately or unfortunately, because sometimes it drives me crazy and I can't sleep, but I see story in pictures because I grew up on, 90s SNL, but also like movies in that time period where for me, it's still kind of like the classics of movie making in that era. So I just see pictures. So in here, there's only so many options. So then it's camera setups. How many of me am I recording, changing my outfit 7 to 8 times? My favorite was when people always thought I had a twin, which was like, that was kind of the idea in the beginning. It was like I was trying to fool people. The one that really popped off was Hello Darkness, My Old Friend from Simon & Garfunkel. Mm-hmm. And I just recreated where they were sitting and standing next to each other with 2 of me in the moment live. And that one kind of made people, think there are 2 of me. But I would say like from start to finish then, so shooting it all, and then not even that, then you got to throw it all back into an editing suite, and then I have to line it all up and then make the decisions of how am I cutting, how am I doing what I'm doing. That part's another, 5-6 hours. So it's usually like a day to 2 days of like full time work with a sandwich break in the middle and maybe, a malort at the end to celebrate.
Straight forced.
And then he had to deal with us.
Yes. And I perhaps didn't send all the files at the same time. And then I'm like, hey, can you get this in there too? It was not the best performance by me. Dave, do you think that perhaps, like I like to walk down the street and just randomly sing songs and just not really worried about who's around, and I think I have, maybe just like a trifle touch of Tourette's. Do you have the same, or do you not?
Yes, I have a tune in my head all the flipping time, my friends. I will say what has been crazy is doing all this and doing 55 of them. Like, I could now recall, like, there will be times I wake up and I'm singing I'm a Believer from week 4 or whatever it was. You know, like, it's there's always a tune. I have a list right now. I have a running list of potential songs, and it's like over 250 of them right now. So then I just have like a path where I can go in and say, oh, that might match up, or there's the song I'm thinking of, and I throw them into a playlist and I listen to them a lot too, so that if a lyric idea pops into my head, I can just like attack it. Yeah, I mean, like it's been a test, and I always have a song in my head, so it's been combining all these different things I love: the love of the Bears, the love of this kind of sketch comedy, and cringe. Like, the cringe is a benefit; it's a feature, not a bug, my friends. Just so you know. And it's one of those things that, like, if you can't laugh and have a good time with it, my whole thing is always like, it's very easy not to watch things on the internet that you don't like, and it's very easy to just not follow somebody that you don't like. So if you don't get the same enjoyment out of it, you can just, like, don't watch. That's okay. That's okay too. You know, we all have the choice in that as well.
I mean, I've been forced to sit next to Carm for 2 years, but
that's right.
I have him blocked on Twitter.
You poor unfortunate soul.
Do you find yourself talking in the Swerski voice and more now? Like, off?
That just was, sorry, my niece has watched Little Mermaid about 100 times since she got to my house 5 weeks ago, so that actually just, like, triggered me in a very negative way.
Why? What happened?
I'm sorry. Let it go. Let it go.
Dave, we need you in studio. We need you at one of our tailgates.
Yes.
We need something with you.
Gonna say, well, we got to see you at some point this season. If you're in town,
yeah,
come to
you
a tailgate or something.
definitely got to come to the studio. But the tailgate is a great idea too. You know, it's a good vibe at our tailgate. You'd have a great time. Thousands of Bears fans. Maybe we can find some production out of that as well.
I love it. I told George McCaskey at the draft party, it just so happened that I had enough liquid courage, and he was there. We told him that we were about to get married. He's like, "Why aren't you married yet, Swersk?" And we were like, and then he gave us a little heads up about when they were going to London. So my dream, and I have pitched this to the Bears, if you are listening, Bears, that I would like to be a super fan on the streets in the UK, asking people in the UK that are both tourists and locals all about Bears fandom. You know, Coach Ted Lasso versus Ditka, that kind of thing. And I've also told George McCaskey that I wanted to sing the anthem, which I think is probably very far off. But judging from his reaction, he was like, "I've seen some of your parodies, Swersk. I'm not sure about that." But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. And I plan to be in Chicago quite a bit this season, because I do come back and forth quite a bit. So the more reason that there is to be there, the higher the chances of a Swerski appearance, my friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're making it happen,
That
David.
was a good start at a George impression, by the way. I'm just going to tell you. I could see him saying exactly what he said to you.
Yes. It was funny. He was, you know, like with like a little cocked head, like kind of looking at me like, "I know that you think I'm a big deal. Right now I can hear you." But it was cool. He was actually really kind. I don't know that the anthem is going to be the thing unless y'all make a petition, you know, the fans in the chat. Let's go.
Crystal
right.
wants you at the tailgate. You must come correct for Crystal. She needs you there.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be in touch. Dave, thanks so much, man.
Thank you
Dave,
for
you're the
everything,
best.
man.
You guys are awesome.
It's fun working with
Thank
you.
Da Bears.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
The
Dave
legend.
Swerski, the legend.
I mean,
I think we got something there with that sexy back.
I think
We're
there's
bringing offense back.
Yeah.
Yeah. These other defense don't know how to act. Yeah.
You might.
I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna go spend my 2-week vacation. I'm gonna fly out to LA. Dave and I are gonna put an album together.
That was amazing how quickly you came up with that, Hoge. Underrated talent.
It's almost like the wrong
Off camera,
guy.
he just gave you a thumbs up, by the way.
Yes. Yes. I feel
Bond has been
maybe the wrong guy on the set is the one that's been doing the parody song.
I think so.
I will happily send you off
do one
into
featuring Hoge.
Yeah, no, you can add that to the list of things you do every week this season.
My
Yeah, there's not enough.
my mother is in the chat saying, "My son, Kansas City, pick a state. Ay, ay, ay." Did you ever happen to think that this is your fault that I don't know this, Mom?
Wow.
You ever think of that?
Barb.
Teacher of 40 years, and look how stupid I am. because of you. So maybe stop pointing the finger and point the thumb at some of the reasons for what's happened here.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in right now and say that, a parent's job is to be a parent, and then eventually, at some point, as you become an adult, you grow yourself up and take personal responsibility. You are now at the tender age of, 48, 40, whatever it is? And
38.
38, and you're still blaming your mother. That's rough. Barb, it's not your fault. He's an adult now.
Barb knows it's not her fault.
Crystal,
At some point, though, there's like a 7th grade USA geography class, though, that you failed. You didn't learn about Kansas City.
didn't attend it. You'd have to attend it to fail it.
And there it is.
You'll get there. When you turn 46, you'll be a grown man.
Remember when you turned 46?
I sure do, buddy.
In 1952.
Oh, it's an old joke. Never heard one of those on this show before. The creativity. Thy name is Rex. Can we any super chats before we get on out here and send Hoge off on his?
Yeah, we got 5 of them today.
I think we should have the Braggs family Thanksgiving dinner here in studio.
Because the Bears play Thanksgiving. Oh, and then you guys can see
we can all
if she's a good. What if her Thanksgiving does suck? And
then I'm not gonna go on and say it sucks because I'm a decent human being.
That's what the people want. You got to be straight.
No,
I'll say it sucks.
Also, it doesn't suck. I feel confident it doesn't. You don't hate her cooking. You hate turkey. We had this conversation.
All right, my mom comes in on Thanksgiving, cooks Thanksgiving for everyone that's here. Then we determine if it's a me problem or if it's a her problem.
Yes.
That Thanksgiving food sucks.
I'm not going to handle this. I'm taking that week off.
The thing with cooking here is we don't have a kitchen. We have a microwave.
That's true. That's
I
true,
don't think
too.
it's a great idea, and Barb doesn't want to do that. Barb, I'm going to protect you. Kevin, $4.99. So the news is that there is no news. LOL. Well, that's not entirely true, Kevin, on the stadium thing. Progress on the taxes is being made, Kevin.
Why are you just turning into Swerski?
Because I love him, and I miss him, and I want him back on the show.
Ollie's got £9.99 sterling. Hey, guys, huge love from the UK. Secured my ticket for the Jags game last week. So excited. Thanks for all the great content. See you in October. Carm, if you're at Wimbledon on Friday to the 5th, the Pims are on me.
Ollie, I am going to be there on Friday the 5th, so you better find me.
You know what a Pim is?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing.
I don't.
Whatever it is, I want it.
I'm surprised.
Probably a beer. That's all they drink over there.
Hang on, let's look it up. Pims.
It's
Wimbledon.
beer. I guarantee it.
Okay, fine.
These drunks.
Gin-based fruit cup.
Not a beer. You're wrong.
That must be a Wimbledon staple.
The Pim's Cup is a cocktail.
Pims
It's popular in England.
It's like a
Pims at
mint
Wimbledon.
julep at the
like-
Kentucky Derby.
So we put like different fruits in it, and then it's alcoholic as well.
There you
Five-
go.
All right, I'd drink that.
5-ounce lemonade, mint, orange, strawberries, cucumber. Sounds delicious.
I was going to say, that sounds amazing. I'm in. I'm going to make one of these when I get home, my first vacation drink.
Let's go. We're having
Going
a Pim.
Pims.
Damn it. They're popular apparently at the Derby and the U.S. Open and Wimbledon.
Mark prefers to call them cockies.
That's true. I do.
You should
I
make your
definitely will be having. You have to get into Wimbledon. You have to queue in at like 4 a.m. So I'll be calling you guys. It'll be.
They make you show up at 4 a.m?
If you don't have tickets and you're queuing in, which I will be doing.
What does that mean, queuing in?
Get in line. They call
You
it the
don't
queue.
have tickets?
I have tickets for one day, but you think I'm going over to London?
The other days you can just show up and somehow get in?
Get in line at early in the morning, and or camp out. Apparently, people camp out. Which, if you're camping out, let me know. I'd love to bombard your tent.
Camp out, let me know. I'm going to be homeless in London, and I need a tent to sleep
You're
in.
trying to Matthew Gregory this thing.
No, I did, man.
That's a great point.
In a tent.
You're giving him crap for staying at Matthew Gregory's, and you're sitting here saying you're going to go to London homeless.
Please let me sleep in your tent.
I am homeless in London, although I did get myself a room in an Airbnb where I hope that I survive. But I'm looking forward to it. I got a bargain basement travel, Carm.
Don't make the mistake, Nick.
The Moriano.
I'm in
Moriano
some
Airbnb, which becomes have you ever seen the movie Hostel?
No, I haven't, Greg.
You should watch that before you go
I'm gonna
overseas. Watch the movie Hostel.
If I don't return, just
I've stayed in an
know
overseas hostel before. You'll be fine.
it's gonna be great.
Craig Leach, $20. I remember when there was talk of the Gary Bears in the 90s. I worked at a sign shop back then. We printed a ton of shirts promoting the idea.
Gary Bears.
The region. No better place in the world.
Where is Gary today?
He's in there.
Gary texted me earlier and made my heart drop because he texted me and goes, your Twitter was hacked. But then I forgot that I had tweeted what you told me to tweet.
Oh, the nice thing about Carm?
And saying tweet
so it
something
was a
nice
joke.
about Carm, which I did.
Yeah. Craig Leach, $10. Don't drink and drive, though.
That was in relation to
Absolutely
Justin
right,
Timberlake.
Gary would never do that.
I had to give that disclaimer. Big Cram,
Out of
$20.
Where the hell's the Duke?
Duke's coming back, man. He'll be here when the season starts.
I missed the Duke.
He showed up for the draft. He'll be here when the season starts.
He's probably dead.
The Duke's not dead. The Duke will live. The Duke will live forever.
$20. Big Cram. Carm, back to your take from yesterday. How would Caleb feel if you're telling him from the start he's the starter all offseason? He has first-team reps. And after, let's say, 2 bad preseason games, you bench him.
Well, it wouldn't just be 2 bad preseason games, Big Cram. It would be a wonky training camp, and then he doesn't show well in the preseason. And Caleb, I would assume, would be bummed about it, to answer your question, but I think you would also own up to the fact that he hadn't played well enough and that he's got to get in the lab and get better.
God.
I don't think that would knock Caleb off.
I wanted you, when you guys were talking about this yesterday, I wanted you so badly to throw him off the patio. Off the balcony.
Right, because you're not a great understander of nuance. I understand. But
No, we get the nuance.
I don't think Greg
nobody
does.
wants to hear it.
I don't think
Caleb is going to be good. Your take sucked. I'm going on vacation.
I am proud of you.
I wish we could have ended the show right there.
I
That would
think
have
you
been
could
great.
have.
But we have more.
You should have a super chat in relation to your vacation, though.
Robert Lee, $5. Hogue, enjoy your vacation. Have a blast wherever you go. Enjoy yourself. Rest up. Come back. Get ready for the greatest Bears season ever.
Yeah.
Robert Lee.
That is what I'm planning on doing. I'll give you guys the same talk I gave these guys earlier. Appreciate all the support, and I'm going to go rest up. When I come back, it's the week the Bears report to training camp. We are all in. We are ready to go. I will see my family Valentine's Day.
And the train don't stop without old Hollywood here. We got some big guests coming up here later in the week.
We do?
We do.
Yeah, there's a Bears player who you've been briefed
2
on
days.
6 times.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, we have a huge
Pretty
guest
big
coming
name
up.
on Thursday
Huge guest.
coming on the show.
Big guest.
Big.
Not letting you talk.
Robert Lee was in the chat earlier saying how much he enjoyed last night's After Dark. If you haven't watched it yet,
What was so good about After Dark last
I
night?
had Corey Wooten name his top 5 teammates. He ended up listing like 9.
That's fun.
But it was basically a trip down memory lane for anybody
cool.
that was a Bears fan in the days that Corey Wooten played and the Urlacher, Briggs, Tillman era.
That would
For
be
a lot of us, those are some of our favorite years. We talked a lot about some old teammates. He shared some old stories and some good behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you haven't watched it, I highly encourage you. It's a good summer show that kind of goes off the reservation of the Caleb stuff. I know we go off the reservation on this show every day.
We also have to go off the air in 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Let's
so
do it.
Big Cram $9.99. Carm, that's up there with the Smitty take.
I honestly don't remember the Smitty take. Do you?
I don't know. I can't keep track of your bad takes. I thought you at least would.
Who's Smitty?
Smith?
I don't know.
Steve Smith?
Smith?
Great Hooper /
We don't know.
I don't know.
cross the hall roommate at
I'll
Iowa.
let you guys figure that all out tomorrow.
Failed out after half a semester. I appreciated it.
Is there anything else I need to tease? Oh, Saturday,
See you in Milwaukee.
we are taking over the
Hogue not on vacation.
CHGO. Well, I'm not working. I'm still gonna have fun, and that sounds fun. So if you'd like to have fun with all of us, come on the trip. AllCHGO.com/events. We're going up to Milwaukee on Saturday. There's a bus. It leaves from the city. It stops in Waukegan. It gets you to Miller Park /AmFam Field, and we're gonna have a great day. And I'll see you all in a couple weeks. Appreciate it. Bye.
city like the mayor.